Hey everybody, welcome to Bearded Baker Banter. Tried to catch you off guard there. Welcome Trent, welcome Trey.
How's it going?
Hello, fellas.
We are about to get into our first segment here on our podcast, the booming news stories. Oh
Oh,
yeah, that's right. We're
look at
bringing
that.
it in the sound
Let
effects.
let me start off with a little bit of a weather update. It might be super smoky out in our area, but I'll tell you what, there's definitely a little cold front. Definitely a little cold front.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I hate this goddamn cold front. I hope it passes through very quickly.
Yeah.
But boys, we hit a little
Yeah,
cold spot. We hit a little cold spot past couple days, but you know what? We broke the cold streak today a little bit, and we're gonna get past it. I think it's gonna get hot here soon.
Yeah, we collectively are on a cold front, but I am in an ice age lately. I am.
Oh, I wasn't gonna say anything, Trey, but yeah, you're frozen.
Yeah, I'm at a point where I'm almost in auto fade territory of my own picks analysis.
Well, here's the thing though. You got to understand too is it's going to come back around here. It's very early in the month.
Right.
Looking at numbers and things. I mean, there's been we hit those little pockets here and there, and then you turn it back around and you go 3-0, you go 3-0, you go 3-0 a couple times in a row, and you're back to normal. I mean, it's
listen. If you do what we do regularly, right? Like putting picks out daily, things that we look into and whatnot, you're gonna go through a time period with this. And you know what? You can catch some haters, but you know what? Like you said, Ty, you're gonna bounce back. You're gonna hit a pocket like this every once in a while, and it happens. But you know what? That's the thing you look forward to is like if you can manage it when you hit that streak. That hot streak feels a little bit longer of a period of time than the cold streak. That's key.
Yeah. We just gotta weather the storm, huh?
Yep, we'll be good.
Darn right.
Yeah.
All right.
But
I got my mittens are on and my beanies all on, and you know what? We're weathering it. Let's go.
There you
go. Summer, last day of school tomorrow. Let's go.
Back to the booming topics though. There's one obvious one that sticks out, but it is a doozy of one. The PGA and Live Tour merger.
Yep.
Hell of a doozy, Trey. Hell of a doozy.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I saw some. To be honest, I thought the most that they would do is maybe like a versus tournament between PGA and Live. I thought that'd be the most interaction I'd see between the two leagues. For them to straight up just merge much sooner than I thought we'd ever see it was kind of mind blowing, honestly.
Can I ask you guys though, like after the comments today of like, no, this isn't like Live is going away, but like Live is here to stay. Is it a merge or did Live just like pretty much like take the PGA over?
I don't know because you got to look at it. The guy that's the head of I think it's the CEO of the PGA.
Jay Monahan.
Yeah, isn't he? He is in charge.
So
he's in charge of everything, which is why he's kind of the bad guy to everybody right now. Because on one hand, he made comments about Live Golf, with the money and everything else when it started to happen, and then on the other hand, he preaches loyalty and preaching to the golfers like, "Hey, loyal to the tour," and then literally turns around and takes the money that he just talked bad about, kind of throwing his PGA players under the bus, essentially.
And denying them an unreal financial opportunity.
Yes.
Guys, Tiger Woods, $800 million.
Yeah.
Rory McIlroy, was it 500? I think
600.
Yeah.
$600 million, and now it's kind of like there's no way they get that type of money.
Yeah.
So
I mean, do you think because there's some people out there, aka El Presidente, that states that those guys are still going to get paid their fair share, but there's no way they get the original type of money that they're offered.
Well, yeah, no, they can't afford Roy. They can't give him $600 million, but Tiger didn't need. it's just fine without getting an $800 million contract.
Dude, but it doesn't matter. It's the principle of it. You know what I mean? If guys
Yeah.
can make money, make your money. And the fact that this, what's his name? Monahan, whatever, screwed over that many people. I mean, and then he's just going to be like, yeah, I'm just taking over. Like, I'm just in charge. Well, it is what it is.
Well, so Tyler, he's not. When you say he's in charge, there's still a lot of details to be ironed out.
I know.
Up front, one of the vague things is that there's two roles that are kind of already defined, and Jay, the PGA guy, being listed as the CEO, but the president of the PIF, which is the Saudi-backed, the Saudi fund.
Yeah.
His name is Yasir Al something.
Yeah.
He's listed as the chairman.
Yeah.
Right? And the hierarchy says that CEOs are, I guess, top of command over a chairman, but ultimately, you know what it is whoever is controlling the money is in charge.
Yeah.
And Trey,
Trey,
what was that guy's name again? Who's controlling the money?
His name is.
You talking about the live guy?
It's Yasir Al Rumayyan.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I was just checking.
And here's the other thing. So, and I think. I listened to Scott Van Pelt talk yesterday on McAfee's show, and SVP had a good point. Is when you break down, all the different things that are involved in this, and there's several different bullet points you can really kind of attribute to things and look at. But the biggest one is that it said they mutually agreed to end all litigation or pending litigation between the parties.
Right.
And I thought SVP made a good point, and he said, well, there it is. He goes, everybody wants to stay out of court. Nobody wants to spend their money on things you don't have to spend your money on. You're making your lawsuits go away. And that's exactly what you're doing by doing this merger. That's what it boils down to.
And it also prevented PGA's not-for-profit books and all those dealings from going public in court.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So there probably is a lot of sketchy stuff on their not-for-profit.
There you go. Here's another one. PGA Tour will also remain as a tax-exempt organization.
Right.
That still stays. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many things that I'm just like, okay. And it's frustrating because, I don't know, when you really look at it, I mean, I think we all watch sports for the players, the people that are, involved in it. And I think that when all of a sudden you have some things that are really shady looking that don't benefit, the players, in this case it's mostly the PGA players, obviously, I think it rubs people the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I think that's frustrating.
So ultimately the only reason to me why it's frustrating is just how hypocritical the PGA was in this whole situation. Yeah. So ultimately, do I think it's going to be good for golf? Yes, because the professional golf is going to be funded for decades to come now without a question. There's going to be higher payouts. There's going to be probably more tournaments that have larger purses.
Do you look at it like a monopoly, though, then, in that aspect of things where it's everybody? I don't know.
I mean, it's not necessarily a monopoly. It's just, it's the top of golf. It's the pinnacle of golf is the PGA Tour. So that's not. You still have the Corn Ferry Tour. Yeah. You still have like other mini tours available. It's just the top league. They're now the equivalent of the NFL in terms of money.
Yeah,
that's all it comes down to. It's just, I wouldn't call it a monopoly necessarily. The best golfers are still going to have to earn their way there.
Right.
Now, I'm gonna go out on a little bit of a limb, I guess, here, and say I would consider the biggest winner, or maybe even winners, I should say, are Brooks Koepka and Phil Mickelson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say the biggest loser, singular, is Rory McIlroy. Yeah. I think Rory looked very bad in his news conference.
What was he supposed to say, though?
I disagree, Trent. I don't think Rory's the biggest loser.
I do. I really do, because I think he sat there and criticized everything and then said live golf is still not going to be a thing. But in reality, no, it really is. Yeah. It really is going to be a thing. And really the money from from Liv ended up winning in the end, in my opinion. I think Liv won.
Yeah, I think that it's essentially it's ultimately both sides win. So Liv didn't fold. I mean, maybe the name did, but the entity that ran Liv is now a part of a major American sports league, the PGA Tour, which is what they wanted. They wanted to diversify. Yeah, they wanted to diversify their business dealings, which now they're a major component of an American sporting league. The PGA Tour, on the other hand, all the players get to compete together in one league, and they are funded for years and years and years to come. I mean, the biggest loser in my eyes is the CEO or the PGA Tour president, Jay, or whatever his title is, Jay Monahan, and
I agree.
Brandel Chambly.
Yeah.
I don't know how he can show his face again on TV. I really don't.
How can he? You're right. It's a joke.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to be very interested to hear all the critics about Liv. Yeah. I'm anxious to hear their opinion now, because guess what? Your PGA players are now getting paid that money too.
Exactly.
That I'm not 100% sitting there and agreeing with everything where the money comes from, but I was for the competition with the PGA.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We all like competition.
Yeah, because I like that they were trying something different, trying to make it even, I would say, even more beneficial to the players.
Right.
Make it a little bit more, make the golf game a little bit more lively.
Yeah.
With the team aspect and whatnot. So in my end, I really don't care about the whole thing. I'm anxious to hear the people that were so critical now defend it.
Especially like the people that announce golf. That, you know, watching it and listening to some of them, even during stuff, you could hear, you know, the influx of their voice and
the undertones,
their tones, you know, the way that they said things, the way they talked about certain golfers more than other golfers. I agree, Chan. Like, I'll be interested to kind of see that aspect of it, because what are you going to do now? And honestly, it's not. And again, it's not a challenge, and it's not even the player's fault. You know, it's literally one person that decided that, hey, guess what? I can get more money, and I don't care what I said. I don't care, you know, that I told other players, you know, not to take this money, and I'm going to take it anyway. And I think,
I don't blame the guys that made that switch at all.
No,
you know, I don't.
No, they are actually. I mean, they're the biggest winners.
I look at every other professional sport, and you know what? It's frustrating at times, but all of those sports, all those athletes are all about making sure that their bottom line is taken care of.
Yeah.
So, you know what? So be it.
Yeah.
Hey, they took care of business. Now, you know what? Who knows? Maybe Brooks winning this past major. Maybe that was the eye opener of saying, "Oh,
the catalyst." Yeah.
We can't have these live golfers winning all our majors, because be quite honest with you, I think Brooks wins a couple more here. I mean, he's not old. He's not washed up. He's still in a. Would you guys not agree that he's somewhat in his prime still?
Oh yeah. Yeah, if he stays healthy, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, before we do move on, two things I just wanted to say is, if you listen to Rory speak whenever he got asked live questions, one, he either outwardly stated he didn't want to talk about it, or two, he very much walked back his tone of how much he hated live.
Yeah.
He was now all of a sudden considering letting guys participate in tournaments, and it's not that bad, and you know they're trying to do well, like they mean well and stuff, but you could tell he was walking back a lot of his statements. He's past
also,
couple weeks.
I believe, isn't he like the face of the players though, or something?
He's one of the 5 like player members from the board or something.
There's like some sort of title he actually has too, so I'm sure that he has to walk a fine line with that too.
The other thing,
I'm going to actually say that I think honestly, with this whole thing happening, I think he's becoming a little bit of a villain.
Yeah, oh yeah, I agree.
I think he's a villain that people are going to start cheering against. I really do. And I actually think he supposedly called another PGA player who is critical of everything, stated something at their players meeting, and Rory's comment was to that guy, "Hey, why don't you just play better?" You know,
Yeah.
and I think he's coming off as a little stuck up.
Yeah.
And I'm right now. If you said to me like who, I would say he's my villain in golf. I'm going to cheer against his ass. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm going to cheer against him. But
I agree with you on that.
Should we move on? We spent a little bit of time here with the live and whatnot.
Yeah, we can move on.
So you want to get to some more boomers, boys?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I mean, I think, Trent, you had mentioned something about basketball and stuff, but I'll kind of jump into mine here.
I was gonna say not yet. I'm not. That's not my first one.
No, that's fine. I'll jump into mine, and mine's kind of, I would say random, but a little bit just kind of something that's frustrating over the years that I've been kind of angry with, I guess, in a way. But it's the NFL Hall of Fame and the NFL Hall of Fame qualifications for how do you get in, who gets in, who's nominated. And I just, it's kind of becoming one of those things where it's like, hey, if you're an okay player, you get in the Hall of Fame. Or you get nominated to be in the Hall of Fame. And I think it's losing a little bit of luster, at least for me, where I don't know that you're getting like the greats of the greats at least nominated anymore. And some of the guys that are even getting in, and, you know, I'll be the first to admit the one 49ers guy that got in, I believe, last year, I don't think he was a Hall of Famer.
Who do you remember? Who was it?
Bryant Young.
I don't even know.
So, I mean, and it's one. It was a great defensive tackle for San Francisco, but he's not a Hall of Famer. Like I don't know. My frustration here, and that's why I bring it up, is kind of like my booming topic is, you know, what are qualifications? You know, you look at guys like the last couple of years. Andre Johnson is up for a nomination. Torrey Holt up for a nomination. You know, Reggie Wayne up for a nomination. You know, some of these guys I'm just looking at, you know, and it's like, okay, you know, Jared Allen. These were all great players.
Not Hall of Famers.
But I don't agree that they're Hall of Famers, and the fact that they're actually putting them in as finalists for the Hall of Fame. I mean, you know.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So then I want to ask you, what is your like? I'm not saying you got to give me like everything.
Yeah.
But like, I hear some of the names you're giving.
Mm-hmm.
Some I agree. I'm like, yeah, Hall of Famer. I could see that. But what would be your criteria for a Hall of Famer? Because that's the thing is like doesn't it end up like let's be real. Okay, so here's maybe what we struggle with is you had let me think. Maybe I'm right with this. I don't want to go too far back, but 80s weren't the 80s. Who were the Super Bowl? The Niners ran the 80s, correct?
Yeah, Niners, 80s, yeah.
So Niners dynasty, 80s. Cowboys were the 90s. Patriots were the 2000 ship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, they're all the way up to like 2000, whatever. But
yeah, almost.
But then you had all those. You know, you had also the steel. So like, I think you see, especially like modern day football. I don't know if you see as much domination from single teams.
So, but I'm not saying that's a criteria though. I'm my criteria.
So Super Bowls are not a criteria.
Well, now hold on. No, because I would actually say that some sort of championship has to be in the criteria aspect of things. Okay. I'm not saying that's the tell-all. I'm not saying that only guys that win a Super Bowl get in the Hall of Fame. That's not what I'm saying. But to get in the Hall of Fame, I feel like you have to at least hold a record of some sort. You know, at some point in time, or I don't know, and that's like I said, I struggle with it because like the guys I just named, you know, I think the one that sticks out to me the most that's frustrating is Torrey Holt. Like, was Torrey Holt a great wide receiver? Yes. Is he a Hall of Fame wide receiver? Not even close, in my opinion. But I even look at some of like the semifinalists. I mean, you have Rodney Harrison, great when he played, sure. Is he a Hall of Famer? I don't think so. Steve Smith Sr., no. Great wide receiver, yes. Ricky Waters is on there. I don't know, James Harrison, Anquan Bolden. Like, these are all great players. Eric Allen.
You don't think James Harrison?
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
Wow.
I don't. I mean, the guy that's in the semifinalists from last year that I would say that should have probably been a finalist and possibly eventually a Hall of Famer was Hines Ward.
No.
And I don't like Hines Ward at all.
Oh my God, I would say James Harrison over Hines Ward 100%.
But if you
Really?
look,
Wow.
James Harrison over Hines Ward, really?
Yes.
Wow.
You know what? I could agree with that because doesn't he have the longest? One
He
of
has
the
that play
longest
in the
plays-
Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
longest plays in the Super Bowl history.
I
could
And he's
see-
been consistently great every year.
But if you look at Hines Ward was one of the best blocking wide receivers of all time.
Oh my goodness.
That's-
No.
Okay.
That's not going to get you in the Hall of Fame. You're great at throwing a stalk block out there.
Wow.
Hey,
okay.
whoa,
So now,
whoa.
but you can't make that
Right.
comment because then you're eliminating offensive linemen.
Okay, but that's their whole job. Joe Thomas, the Browns guy, put him in the Hall of Fame.
And he
100%.
is.
All right.
He made the Hall of Fame last year. So
All
I'm
right.
not he should be in the Hall of Fame. I agree with that.
Okay.
Trent Williams should be in the Hall of Fame when he's done. Like, I don't know. It's just I feel like you're putting a lot of good players up there.
Jeff Saturday.
I'd put Jeff Saturday up there, for sure. He was. You could.
head coach.
Well, yeah. But I'm saying like Jeff Saturday's a guy you could argue, besides Peyton Manning, was the captain of the team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you didn't have Peyton, he was the captain of the team.
You put Dallas Clark in there.
No, not a chance.
Okay.
No, I
So-
don't know.
I've heard this recent argument because obviously with the first game of the year being the Hall of Fame game. So let me just put a couple guys. Let's discuss a couple of these guys of who you think would be a Hall of Famer or not. Like Eli Manning.
I say no. Do I think he'll get in eventually? I do.
That's a tough one. I mean, he's going to get in. But...
I bet he gets in the very first time he's up for vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go Trent's route.
But no, I'm gonna talk real quick about Eli Manning.
Yeah.
2-time Super Bowl champion.
Mm-hmm.
2-time Super Bowl MVP. Basically an Iron Man of the game for how many games he started straight. Right? And he's probably going to get those bonus points for knocking off quite Frank. Well, his last name, but also knocking off the best team, in my opinion, best team in NFL history.
Yeah,
which is the Patriots.
But at the same time, those are just kind of quick highlights. I don't think if you look at the longevity.
Two Super Bowls.
Trent, if you look at the longevity of his career, his stats are pretty terrible.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing.
So I'm saying,
with
like, does that make you a Hall of Fame quarterback though? And that's why I said like, Super Bowls have to be a criteria of some sort, and championships of some sort. But I don't know, man, and that's why I struggle.
Calvin Johnson, a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, because I think Calvin Johnson's the guy that changed the game.
What?
I think he changed, and he is in the Hall of Fame, Trent.
Come on, is he really?
Yeah, he made it, I think, in 2001.
See, no, like that. That's why I don't think. Wait, Calvin Johnson, 2000 what?
Yeah, 2021.
See, that to me, that I think that's bullcrap. I think
he made it the same. He made it the same year Peyton did, Charles Woodson, Alan Faneca, and John Lynch.
I disagree with that. I don't think he should have been.
I don't know. I mean, it's.
I don't know. I don't think you can ever agree. I don't think you can ever agree on a
yeah,
true,
I was gonna say.
Unless you create an actual criteria, but I just don't see it.
I agree, but that's what I said. Like, I just get frustrated, and not all these guys are getting in. I'll say this: there's a lot of guys that get nominated. I would say more so that frustrate me than necessarily the guys that get in. I hate that they nominate some of these guys because I'm like, well, hold on, like, was that person a really good player? Yeah. Are they a Hall of Famer? Like, okay, here's one that's been up for a couple years. Dwight Freeney. Hall of Famer?
Wow.
You don't think
I say yeah.
You don't think he changed the game from a pass rushing?
All right, so then here's my question. Okay, so Dwight they're both finalists.
Jared Allen gets into.
Jared Allen or Dwight Freeney though, if you come down
Dwight
to those
Freeney.
two.
Dwight Freeney.
I would say Dwight Freeney over Jared Allen.
Why?
I think Dwight Freeney has a Super Bowl.
But that's the only reason?
I think Dwight Freeney was more dominant for more years.
I wouldn't say that because
He did.
I just
You can make the argument he changed the game because of the spin move.
yeah.
And that's something that team. I don't know. I think you have to like have some sort of defining thing about you to get you in the Hall of Fame. And that again, I don't know. It's just looking at who was it? Okay, here you go. Rondé Barber got in last year. You put Rondé Barber in the Hall of Fame?
No.
Wow.
He got in last year.
That's because he played till he was like 52.
How about okay, DeMarcus Ware? Phenomenal player. He got in the Hall of Fame last year.
I mean, I'd say him over Jared Allen.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, okay, Zach Thomas got in last year. I agree, Zach Thomas. Zach Thomas was a game changer at linebacker.
How?
Joe Thomas. I agree that Joe Thomas gets in.
How was Zach Thomas a game changer?
But here's the other one.
Joe Thomas.
Okay.
Don't agree with Joe Thomas.
What?
Daryl? How about Daryl Revis?
Nope.
No.
Well, Daryl Revis also got in last year. So
Trent, let's take a timeout. Let's take a timeout. Trent, you don't think Joe Thomas?
What are you basing it on?
His longevity, how dominant he was every year, his reliability, his overall performance.
I'm an offensive line guy, but
that is the most craziest thing I've ever heard you say.
I'm looking at Joe Thomas. How many games did his team win?
He played for the Browns.
I don't know.
How many?
Are you a game changer?
What can an offensive lineman do other than protect his quarterback and not commit any penalties? And that's exactly what Joe Thomas did, longer and more consistently than anyone in the league.
Did he protect his quarterback though? Because I feel like they had a lot of quarterbacks of the Browns during his time period.
I'm just.
And the reason why they didn't succeed is because they threw interceptions and lost games, not because they were getting sacked. And if they were getting sacked, it wasn't because of Joe Thomas.
I'm not going to openly argue against an offensive lineman getting in, but I just feel like your team wasn't dominant. So yeah, I mean, I guess you're right.
So that's not fair to him. That's his fault. He played on a crappy managed team.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm a little sour towards Joe Thomas because of how harsh he was critically of Jeff Saturday becoming a head coach this year as an interim. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. I thought that was unfair. It's like, what are you going to blame Jeff Saturday for taking a head NFL coaching job? Like, no. If Jeff was up for it, you know what? It's not his fault he got the damn job. Don't criticize him for it. It's like, I get it. There could be more deserving guys, but that's my sour spot with Joe Thomas. But
so don't put him in the Hall of Fame.
Semifinalists last year. Fred Taylor.
Oh boy.
Like, you know what I'm saying? What about Vince Wilfork?
Yeah.
I impacted the game at that position.
I don't disagree with that. How about Robert Mathis?
No.
Defensive end from the Colts.
No.
Wow.
Jari Evans, the guard. London Fletcher.
Jari Evans?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bloomsburg.
Yeah, I was going to say. He's a
but how about
guy.
London Fletcher, the linebacker?
No, he didn't do enough.
Right. But I'm saying these are guys that are semifinalists.
Yeah.
So that's where I get frustrated with it. Is what's your
But Tyler,
criteria?
those are guys that I think you should nominate to bring the discussion up. Like London Fletcher or Landon, is it?
London Fletcher.
London, okay.
Landon Fletcher.
No, but I remember he was consistently one of the best linebackers in the league. Granted, they didn't do anything, but like that's a guy that you have to at least bring up when you talk about great linebackers, right?
Here's a guy. I don't disagree with you, but here's a guy that's a finalist that I think should get in because he was a game changer, and that's Devin Hester.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's on as a punt returner. All right, now he hasn't gotten in yet, but he was a finalist. I think the last 2 seasons or the last 2 years. That's a guy though, but he changed the game of special teams.
No, somebody changed before him.
What's that?
Somebody changed it before Devin Hester.
Can I just
talk about Dante Hall?
Really just
Dante Hall?
I knew exactly what you were talking about. Remember that
Chiefs
dude?
guy.
Dude, he was the smallest person ever.
I've changed the stance, guys. I've changed the stance.
On who?
On what?
On London Fletcher.
He's a St. Francis guy, right?
Damn right he was.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So yes, he should be in the Hall of
Yes.
Fame.
Yes.
Damn.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I think I am officially 12? Yeah, I'm 12-0 on my NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Finals moneyline picks or spread/moneyline and the over-unders.
So if you could do us all a favor, especially
I know, make
in the
those my
Twitterverse,
picks. Yeah, I know. But the thing is like I have no rhyme or reason as to why I make those bets. It's just based off my gut feeling.
That's how most bets
Yeah.
are.
Well, with baseball, I look a lot into the numbers and stuff.
But maybe
anyway,
we're looking a little bit too much into it. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
You gotta mix it up a
Well,
little bit.
here, guys, great transition. Ready?
Do it.
Next booming topic.
Okay.
I don't want this one to take. This isn't going to take. This isn't going to take too long. Okay. I just thought this was a very interesting statistic that just came up across my attention here. Orioles. Now you know I'm a diehard Orioles fan, right?
Oh, yeah.
We all are pretty much.
Yeah.
Orioles payroll.
Hmm.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Oh, I know it's
Top 5 highest paid players on the Orioles payroll right now. Who are winning? They're winning ball games, guys. They are. I know they're a little streaky right now, but they're winning ball games. Ready?
Santander.
No, the number 1 highest paid player on the Orioles payroll right now.
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to give them to you. Don't guess. Chris, a.k.a. Crush, a.k.a. Mr. Strikeout himself, Davis.
Wow. They're still paying him?
Still being paid $14.83 million this year.
Jesus, God, that's so sickening.
He's
Okay.
He's the highest paid.
Yep.
And he's not even with us.
Not even on team. Ready? Let me keep going here. Kyle Gibson, he's the ace right now. He's number 1, in my opinion, in the rotation.
Jesus.
He's getting paid $10 million this year. Okay, ready? Our second baseman, Adam Frazier, and I will say he's hot. He's not in his looks or anything, but in terms of his play. Sorry.
What? Sounds weird,
Oh,
dude.
anybody thought anything until you made it weird, dude.
I was gonna say you made it weird by saying that.
You made it weird. You made it weird. Stop making it weird, Trey. Jesus.
God, that's so funny.
But he
Trey
gets paid
raised his eyebrows. It was weird, Trey.
$8 million. Okay, ready? Anthony Santander, 7.4. But ready?
Yep.
The number 5 highest paid player on the Orioles. Alex Cobb, who is a San Francisco Giant.
For how many years has he been there?
I don't even know.
It's at least 2 or 3.
He gets paid for $4.5 million by the Orioles.
I don't even remember when Cobb played for the Orioles.
So I don't either, dude.
Did he ever play for us?
He did, obviously, but Chris
Did he
Davis
though?
the highest.
I don't know.
Chris Davis the highest. Alex Cobb the 5th highest. And now you just rattle off some names right now. Like you got Mateo at shortstop, who I think is an absolute stud. Rutschman's the best. I'll make a bold statement right now. I know I'm biased, but I think Rutschman is going to end up being the best catcher in the league for years to come.
That's not very bold. That's a good prediction.
Thank you, Trent. Thank you.
I'm saying it's like that wouldn't be a surprise to anyone. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I just that caught my attention. I thought that was incredible to see. I mean, it's like wow. Like Chris
Trent,
Davis,
there is
$14.8 million this year is accounting for the Orioles payroll.
That's sickening, actually.
Yeah.
Well, and that goes back to how they manage. That goes back to the owners.
Yeah.
And how they're managing stuff. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. Hey, let's bring on I'll take the Saudis to buy the Orioles. That way we can actually pay our damn prospects.
All right, here you go.
Let us keep winning.
Hey, Alex Cobb pitched for the Orioles in 18, 19, and 20.
18, 19. We weren't even alive.
No.
Oh, sorry, 2018.
2018, 2019, and 2020.
18.
18, 19. Holy hell. Oh, okay. Wow.
Babe Ruth was his teammate.
I bet
But I
you
mean,
watched
but
it.
looking at this, okay, so looking at this though, we're paying him how, you said what, third most?
Alex Cobb?
Yeah.
Fifth most.
Okay, so he started 28 games for us in 2018. He started 3 in 2019, and he started 10 in 2020.
Wow.
Jeez.
So that just goes to show you too, in terms of longevity of stuff.
And that's the thing is like when I saw that top 5, I was like we said Rutschman, we said Mateo, and I shouldn't have left out Mullins. Mullins is kind of, I mean, he's been like our only all-star in the past how many years. But then you also got Mountcastle on first, hitting dingers, like, come on, it just blows my mind how
Austin Hayes,
baseball payroll,
Yeah.
the way that works out. I mean, I always love I bet it's coming up, the anniversary of the Mets guy that gets paid every so many days.
Bobby Vanilla.
Right? Yeah, but like
Bonilla trade, not Vanilla. Oh boy.
But I do.
Vanilla.
It's like
it just
Trent
caught my
calling
attention.
Castillo.
I thought that was an interesting thing. And then let me, can I give my next one?
Yeah.
A boomer?
Sure.
All right. So just a heads up and something to keep a watch for. So we do know that the Phoenix Suns waived Chris Paul this week. However, that is also a very, very good indicator, according to ESPN's NBA insider Ramona Shelburne, that the Phoenix Suns are very, very keen on James Harden's situation.
Oh boy. Bringing him and Durant back together.
So you could potentially have down there in Phoenix. Let's put this into perspective.
Hold on. Can I ask a question though, real quick?
Hold on, let me rattle this roster off to you real quick. Okay, you could potentially have James Harden, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton as 4 of your 5 starters. Like, get the hell out of here. Like, Are you kidding me? Like, seriously.
So,
like, if you don't win a championship with that, Vogel, then you should be fired actually before the finals even takes place. And I don't know how that works out because if you don't win the final, but anyway, but still.
No, but I also think here. Hold on. I have one question first. Is would this be the third time that Harden and Durant are together? Do they play together with the Nets?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Do they win it with the Nets?
No.
No.
So they've never won.
They played.
So they never won a
like
championship
4
together.
games together.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm just asking. But I honestly, I mean, if you really look at it, though, all right. So let's, we can, and I think this can kind of transition us if you guys are cool with moving in the NBA a little bit here into the finals too. But maybe you kind of look at the last 2 teams that won, right? You got this year. You got Joker. I'm not saying they won yet, but I'm saying like domination, and he's all about like the guy's averaging a triple double. However, he's also very teammate oriented, right? Like he's gonna get his points. He's gonna do what he does, but he also really doesn't care about his statistics. If you listen to his interview tonight, they're like, "How does it feel to be the first person in the finals to get 30, 20, and 10 in the NBA Finals game?" He's like, "I don't care." Like, I just want to win.
Yeah.
And you could also make the argument, too, that the year before with Giannis, I kind of feel like Giannis is a little bit the same way.
Giannis, yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's better than Bobby Vanilla.
That was true, yeah.
Whatever. In London.
I thought it
Or
was
no,
Giannis.
it's Landon. I said Landon Fletcher.
No, I thought it was Giannis. Giannis.
Giannis. It's Greek.
Giannis.
It's Greek.
Giannis? All right, sorry.
Giannis.
All right.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
All right. It's a soft G. Sorry. But no, you know what I mean? But like there's 2 players who are both very dominant, but also both very team oriented. So give all you want to big threes, and I guess if the Suns get a big four, whatever, all you're doing is putting a whole bunch of talent, together and saying, hey, try to be a team, guys, and win the game. When all you're doing is you're putting a ton of personalities together that can't get along, have a whole bunch of stupid-ass drama, and eventually just get frustrated with each other because they're not getting enough shots. It's literally like having a team of prima donna wide receivers on your team. That's what it is. I want the ball. No, I want the ball. No, I want the ball. I want the ball. I want the ball. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I think that's why Durant never works. Why his teams never work out.
But I'll make the argument that Durant was so different when he was with the Thunder. Attitude-wise and everything else, I think he's changed tremendously. Since he left the Thunder, I think he's gotten so much more selfish.
Yeah.
And that's I think he was a very, like, I still remember when he won the MVP and called his mom up there, and, had this whole ordeal. His mom's a real MVP. Like, he was just, I felt like he was a good dude. And I just feel like he's so selfish now, like, with the way he, with the way he plays, the way he carries himself, the way he, like, yells at fans on the court. Like, I just, he's a different player. He's not who he was when he was with the Thunder initially. And he maybe even going back to RIP, the Sonics.
Ooh,
the Sonics.
They coming back?
Dude, they better. Because,
I
mean, if Seattle SuperSonics come back, you'll find a very heavy NBA fan again in me.
Oh, wow, that's surprising.
The Sonics were my team, dude. And Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, Detlef Schrempf.
Like, a heavy NBA fan.
Yeah, I will watch a lot of NBA during the regular season. I watch a lot of playoffs, but I'm saying I'll watch it regularly.
Good.
So, mark it down. There you go.
All right.
So does that lead us into the NBA Finals here?
Yes.
We're kind of already touching on it, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So what is it? 2-1 now. Each team stole a game in the other's arena.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The Heat on the game 2 stealing the one from the Nuggets. That was the Nuggets' first home loss, I think, or first time they didn't go 2-0 to start the series.
Okay.
The Heat.
It was their first home loss.
Okay. Wow. Which is also crazy. That fourth quarter for the Heat, where was it Duncan Robinson scored like
10 straight.
that was insane. And I think they're one of the teams that they've been doing that a lot this playoffs. The Heat. That's like where they thrive, is in the fourth quarter when they're down by double digits.
Team that wins game 3 ends up winning the finals over 75% of the time.
Wow,
it's interesting.
So I'm sticking true to it. I've got the Nuggets 4-2, and I really see it happening because the NBA's. And Tyler, I'm pulling for 4-2 strictly because I placed a wager on it. But But Tyler, I do see this going 4-1. I think this last game, the way that they beat them, the way that they beat them in Miami, just kind of was like it was very dominant.
It was kind of methodical.
Whereas I feel like the Nuggets at home when they lost that game, it was an all in, like pull it out like effort type of win. Like it took a lot for them to actually steal that game.
Yeah.
And
you're talking about the Heat.
Whereas at the Nuggets in game 2. So I'm very firm on as far as I'm concerned, the fact that Jamal Murray and Jokic combined for as many points as the Heat starting 5.
Yeah.
Together, those two. And they both got triple doubles.
Which was nuts.
Jokic is the first ever in the NBA Finals, 30, 20, 10 or more triple double. So there's a lot of people that still hate on Jokic and criticize him and not give him his credit, but dude, the guy is fun to watch. If you watch the NBA, It's tough to watch usually during the regular season, but the guy is fun to watch. He's dominant.
He's kind of old school a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a guy that can do it all. You know what I mean? And there's not everybody. I feel like everybody in the NBA has to be able to shoot now, which Joker can also do. But like,
oh yeah, he's over 47% from 3-point line.
Yeah, which is nuts. But he can pass. He can he can bring the ball up. He can rebound. He's a freak, man. When you look at it, and it is a shame, I think, too. I know this is kind of a topic of conversation. A lot of sports shows is I don't think he gets any respect that he deserves.
No,
like at all. I mean, people are like, "Oh yeah, he's really good. He's pretty good. He's pretty fun to watch." But like, when you look at him and compare it, he might be a guy when it's all said and done, like when he's retired or whatever. People go back and be like, "Whoa, like this guy was nuts."
Yeah,
like they're not appreciating it in the moment, I guess, which is kind of a shame. But
I agree, and I think it's the unfair comparisons because he's a center, and because people want to start to put him up there in the lines of like potentially best of all time centers.
Yeah,
he's not a Shaq center.
No,
right? Like that's not his style.
He's dominant, but he's not a Shaq dominant.
No, not at all.
It's a different dominant.
It's a total different style of game. But
yeah,
I think he's more skilled than Shaq was.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and in the other aspects of the game, absolutely, yes.
So, and Tyler, you touched on it. I think the most underrated part of his game is his ability to reward his teammates and actually make the right pass too.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's actually been a big factor in this series so far.
Yeah.
The Heat won game 2 because they let Joker let him get his in terms of his points, his rebounds. But what they didn't let him do is they didn't let him find his teammates. I think he had 4 assists, right? Yeah, 4 assists, and compared to what did he have yesterday? 12 or 11?
I don't know.
But yeah, I think if they can limit his passing, he's going to get his no matter what. He's that dominant, but don't let him create opportunities for his teammates, and that's where I think the Heat need to focus on if they want to keep winning or win another game.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be interesting. So what? 2-1. Next game's tomorrow. Right now, just a heads up. Spread is 3.5, -3.5 Nuggets. I think right now, at least for this next game, I think the Nuggets take the next game. I think they also cover 3.5.
Nope.
I think what you're going to see, though, is that the spread's going to start to go back up to like 8.5 after this game when the Nuggets win. That's just my opinion.
I'm gonna risk my. Obviously, I'm gonna bet every game for the finals, but I'm gonna hope the line gets to 4.5, and that's when I'll take it. If it gets up to 4, I'll grab it 2 for the Heat.
You'll take Heat 4.5.
I think the Nuggets will win, but I still think that the Heat cover.
You can also get Nuggets money line for 165 on DraftKings right now too, which isn't great odds, but
can I just say my best advice to everybody trying to bet on NBA is avoid spreads, avoid totals, and bet props. That's right.
Everything Trent has talked about.
Avoid turtles. Oh, totals. I thought that was like a nickname for a prop bet or something.
No.
Who brought this guy? Who brought this guy here?
Turtles. Landons and all this stuff.
Oh, here we go.
Bobby Vanilla likes vanilla.
You look at props. If you can get,
sorry.
If you can get Jokic's total points, it's combination player combos. If you can get his points, rebounds, and assists for about 50.5 to 51.5, you take the over. That's one of my best opinions because that's hit every single time. The other thing that I would say to keep an eye out on, because this guy has yet to do anything in the finals, but keep an eye on
Michael Porter Jr.
Porter Jr.'s point totals.
Okay.
Because I think they're gonna have to put him a little bit down. I really do. I think they're going to have to lower his point total, and he has yet to really have a night where he's shooting and I think he's going to get some open shots, which he does normally. Plus, he's so freaking tall. I mean, gosh, the guy's 6'11" and can jump and can hit three, so it doesn't even matter if he's covered. So I would say keep an eye out for his point totals. So that's my recommendation: is be careful with spreads. If you can even can I give one more piece of advice here? Is if you can get like an alternative line for decent juice, like Tyler said about the money line being like 160 something, but some books you can get like -1, -1.5 for about like in the -130s. So if you really want to like give yourself a little bit of a insurance, you can do that. So that's my advice.
I'd like to give people advice and bet the Heat plus points.
Oh, terrible advice. Sorry, everybody. That's coming from Snowstorm himself. So take that with a grain of salt.
Hey, not when. Hey, you heard me. The finals. The finals. I'm hot. Baseball. You can
Then make them your damn picks. Damn
I know.
Back it up. Let's go.
All right. Well, hey, let's transfer
NHL quick.
Yeah, let's go into NHL some stuff here. So, game just ended. I know most of you will probably be listening here Friday morning, Friday afternoon. But Panthers Knights game 3 just ended, and we are now at 3-2 in the series. So, Knights have been extremely dominant, especially scoring besides tonight.
2-1.
What did I say? 3-2. I'm sorry, that was a score. Yeah. 2-1. 2-1 Knights. But yeah, Knights have been very dominant offensively, which I think is kind of a testament to how bad the Panthers' defense has been. I know Bobrovsky's going to get a lot of heat, from the first couple of games for how bad he was playing, and giving up so many goals. But at the same time, I mean, their defense has been pretty atrocious because you watch a game, their defense is actually the one shielding Bobrovsky.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not helping him out at all.
And it's kind of frustrating to watch. I mean, I was trying to look, and I didn't see. Did you guys see Gudis tonight?
A little bit.
Okay, because I know he was out, and then I think he was back in the lineup tonight, which I wondered how much he would actually play.
He got hit pretty hard tonight too.
So yeah, he may have been pretty limited too, because I didn't see him in there a ton. But just kind of looking defensively, I mean, the Panthers just can't stop the pressure from the Knights' offense. So, Bobrovsky did play again tonight, which I thought was interesting too. Their coach said he has complete confidence in him. It was a well fought game. So that's kind of what?
Not me.
What?
I have zero confidence in Bobrovsky.
Well, I know. I said the coach had confidence in him.
Guy. Yeah, well, I don't care. It's a series. Here you go. Here you go. Professional sports. Don't let your finals end in a sweep.
Dude, what's going to happen?
Get more money out of it. I'm sorry, but dude, this is just like I called it. 4-1 Knights. There's your single win. You gave it to the Florida fans. Good job. You won a Stanley Cup game for the first time in how many years in your home arena. Oh. You're welcome, but now we fulfilled your need. Let's wrap this thing up with the best team. And Vegas is the better team between these two. And it's 4-1. Just like I said, I interrupted you last week during your stats because I'm cashing this bet. Vegas 4-1. And you know what, guys? Just saying right now, my MVP, Marchessault, is going to take it.
He had another goal tonight.
Another goal and another assist, boys.
I don't know, Trey. I truly think.
Who needs Eichel, Trey? Who needs Eichel?
It's going to go. Yeah. Well, Eichel got messed up from Tkachuk last week. But then if you guys watch tonight, Tkachuk got crushed tonight and went out for a little bit.
Good.
But I honestly think this is going to go back to 2-2. I do think it's going to be a 7-game series.
Oh my gosh!
You're crazy. I mean, I had the Panthers winning, but I do think I think it's going to be tied after next game because if the Panthers,
beer bet. Let's go.
All right,
Ooh.
done.
Let's go. Next
Panthers.
game.
Panthers.
Panthers. I'll take it straight up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well, that's the only thing I'm taking. I'm not taking.
All right. You could give me 1.5.
No.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
Look at this
I gotta
guy.
check.
No.
Gotta check. All right. Vegas Golden Knights.
That's
give me
fine.
one.
All right, Panthers take next one.
Add
I think
Add to my tab. Add it to my tab for you.
yeah. Trey has both.
And Trey.
But listen, what I was going to say is, listen, last week before the finals had started, I mentioned the key to the Panthers is going to be Tkachuk staying out of the penalty box. The guy has 3 10-minute game misconducts in this series alone. So he's already surpassed. He's already surpassed his penalty minutes total in the playoffs in this series alone, just with 3 penalties. And I think that shows as to why why the Panthers have struggled so much is because their best player's not out there. He had a game misconduct in game 1, and he had 2 in game 2, and they lost 7-2. Now, granted, he also had a goal. Came back in after the 1, scored a goal, and they got kicked out again. So it was like, but if the guy, and this goes back to it, if he can't stay out of the penalty box, I agree with you. The Knights are going to take it. But if he can play smart and not take stupid penalties, I think that at least the Panthers have a fighting chance. Because don't forget, all right, they were down pretty steep to Boston, top team in the league, and came back and beat them. So
yeah.
don't count any chickens there.
They were down 3-1, right?
Yeah, they were down 3-1.
Chickens. You call Trent a wolf?
I did. I said, don't count your chickens there, Mr. Wolf. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with the. But I do think Trent and I have a beer bet, so 2-2. I'm going with Panthers to win the next game. Trey, who's winning the next game?
Who's winning the next game?
Yep, in Florida.
It'll be the Knights.
Interesting.
Trey, thank you. You're undefeated on your NHL picks. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, all things have to come to an end at some point.
Not this.
Trey, I'll double that up with you with a beer bet too.
Whoa.
That the Knights win the next game?
No, that.
Oh, yes, he just said that.
Yeah, so I'm saying you guys. I'll buy each of you a beer if the Knights
Okay.
win. If the Panthers win, you both owe me.
Deal.
Okay.
Oh, we're in on it. Let's go.
Just all
Let's
money
go,
line.
Trent.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's ride together, Trey.
Yeah.
Just like the old days. Not too sure what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Reminiscent over there.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we'll let's get away from the playoffs here, and we'll jump into our last segment. Which, well, actually, no, sorry, not last segment, but leading into our last segment, we're gonna go into MLB. And remember, our MLB segment here, what we're doing is we got bet, bail, and backing. Bet is what you really enjoy, what you really like right now in the MLB. Bail is what in the world do you hate in Major League Baseball, and maybe it's just our bets right now. Sorry. And then backing is, what are some trends that you're following right now? So that's what we'll get into. So let's start off with our bet in the MLB. If you guys don't mind, I'll lead us off.
Yes, lead us off.
Like that. So leading us off with what I'm betting, and I really am going to eat my words on this because I wrote this yesterday, and then I really actually wanted to just crawl in a hole. San Diego Padres under total runs was what I'm liking right now. They're last in the MLB in overs. Up until yesterday, their record was 1940-2 in over bets. They are last in the MLB. So that's kind of what I'm liking. Again, yesterday was an anomaly. Scored a bunch of runs.
Of course they did.
Of course they did because I paid for that.
Yep.
But yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, San Diego Padres unders, which is also interesting too because I also feel weird betting that sometimes because
Right.
they have so much talent. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
it's just
20,
if they're going to show up.
24th in the MLB in runs scored.
So there you go. And they also have a losing record right now too, which is again weird to me.
Yeah,
But
they're my NL World Series pick. If you guys run the tapes back to the beginning of the baseball season,
I think it might be mine too.
that's terrible idea by me.
I think I might have the Padres and the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys? What's your bets? What do you like?
Well, I'll go next. Not that I will bet it, but the Tampa Bay Rays are on a little streak right now. They bounced back from their losing streak. I think are they on the 6 in a row?
I believe so.
I believe it's 6 in a row.
Yeah.
The only reason that they've won 6 in a row is I have not bet on them once. As I told you guys last time, they had about 18 losses for the season.
Mm-hmm.
And I was responsible for 16 of those because I bet on them those 16 times. So, not going to bet on them. I'm just going to observe. And you know what? As an Orioles fan, I should start betting on them every single day. So maybe that'll help.
Yeah, knock them down, man. Bring them down to third place.
What the hell am I thinking? I just had an epiphany right now. So, yeah, I'm going to start doing that. Let's go. Class down the bump tomorrow. I'll take them. Minus 174. But no, I think Tampa Bay Rays. I mean, we had our guest Derek on. That's his American League. It's his American League pick. So I'm just Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay Rays are hot. So if you're looking for some money lines, and you know what, they're getting a pretty steep money line against a very good Texas Rangers team tomorrow. So
that should be a good series.
Should be.
Yeah, Rays Rangers. Trey, what are you betting? What do you like?
Well, I don't like anything right now, but what I'm betting are the I think I mentioned it last week are the Nerfies and Yerfies, baby.
Okay.
And for those of you that don't know, that is no runs first inning and yes runs first inning.
Yeah.
Had a little bit of success with them. Not so much my picks the last couple days, but overall I've been betting like a couple games at a time, and more times than not, I'm hitting them. But I like to look for one that's either like a minus 120 odds, or sometimes I've seen them as high as like minus 135. Which, I mean, they're a little steep for no and yes run first innings, but most of the time when they're that juiced, you can rely on them pretty well.
Don't forget that's also one too that you can also hit that. And I know Trent, you mentioned last week the tie.
The tie, yeah, yep.
Check out the odds because usually I think tie's usually a little bit higher, but
right.
Nevertheless, still a decent bet.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Because then if they both score,
right, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, yeah, that's all. That's about all I'm betting. I mean, besides that, I do not like baseball right now. Let's just put it that way.
Baseball's kind of hitting that rut right now. You know. It's like,
all
right, we're 50 games in, 60 games in. It's like, all right. So we'll jump into bail. All right, what do you hate right now? Again, you know, all our stuff here doesn't necessarily have to be in gambling. It's just what you like, what you don't like. All right, Trey, you want to start us off with what's your bail?
Yeah, I'll start us off. I'm bailing on the AL Central, that whole division. I don't understand them. Some teams they have hot runs, and then they're the coldest teams ever.
Sure.
There is not one team above 500 in the AL Central.
Phew.
And that's the Minnesota Twins, who have a great pitching staff, as we mentioned last week. I can't figure them out. The Chicago White Sox, they do the opposite of whatever I bet on them to do.
Yeah, it's been
the Tigers and Royals, they're who knows with them, those two franchises.
Wow.
The Guardians used to be one of the teams I like betting, but lately I can't figure them out either. So in general, I'm bailing on the AL Central.
They hit a hot streak too. The Guardians. Sorry.
Right.
Whoa. Didn't mean that. I meant the Cleveland team. They had a hot streak.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Can I throw something out there for you guys to keep an eye on though? With that Cleveland baseball team. My preseason bet, which is not going to hit because this guy missed too many games. McKenzie, I had to lead the MLB in strikeouts. He now has one game in. He played one game, and his first game he had 10 strikeouts. So, Tyler, you're a K-prop guy.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out on that because I think McKenzie for the Cleveland baseball team has a chance to take some overs there before the books get a hold and really
K-props.
them. So,
okay. McKenzie?
McKenzie for the Cleveland baseball team.
Tristan is his name.
Yes.
Not
And
Tristan.
Yeah. Still, I have that bet, but I mean, unless there's some serious injuries occurring with a lot of the pitchers, there's no way he catches everybody that had 40-some games on them.
Right.
Well,
Trent,
pitchers don't have
what are you bailing on here, Trent?
The Dodgers in general. Dodgers. Listen, you want to sit there and look at their. I gave that statistic a while ago. Is how many games they win by where they cover the run line. Mm-hmm. My goodness, you can't even take their damn money line right now. I mean, you sit there and take it. They blew 2 games against the Reds,
mm-hmm.
like in the last inning. Like, come on, they're the last leg of your freaking parlay, or hell, if you have their run line for -130, holy hell, come on, Dodgers, you guys have bought the MLB. You're essentially the Yankees West, right? Like, that's what you are.
Yeah.
You're the Yankees West. And then freaking do it. Finish off when you're up 8-2. You should be winning the damn game. I should be able to go to bed at night saying, "All right, I got this win."
Yeah.
Instead of waking up the next morning and saying, "What the hell?"
I will say the Reds they're riding the hype train of Ellie De La Cruz, that prospect they just got caught up, who looks exciting as hell.
Dude, I'm seeing highlights of him all over Twitter.
Oh my gosh,
he's all over Twitter.
He's gonna be a fun player to watch for years.
Reds are. It's funny because I'm still kind of stuck in the old Reds from last year, where it was like you fade everything with the Reds.
Uh-huh.
But they're not terrible this year, man.
No, they got Jonathan India, De La Cruz. They have a good pitcher that's injured, Nick Lodolo.
It's not bad. All right, so here's what I'm bailing, and here's what I hate. The second one of the season, guys.
Uh-huh.
I hate that Alek Manoah from the Blue Jays is being sent to the damn minors. Dude, it was all fade Alek Manoah.
The fade machine.
And last year, and even the beginning of this year, was fade Baumgartner from the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Sent to the minors. It's like, dude, anytime I got my fading pitchers, finally, they sent him to the damn minors. And I'll be honest with you, the Manoah thing, he's pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
And
he needs a reset.
Something needs to happen, but I hate it because it affects my gambling, and it pisses me off. So that's what I'm bailing on. I'm bailing on Alek Manoah from the Blue Jays being sent to the darn minors.
Tyler, do you have any prospects to replace him?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, because that was a perfect transition into backing. Thank you, Trey. We didn't even talk about that. That was great. All right, so let me start this off then by backing. All right, so these are 3 things that I am now looking at. My first backing is my replacement for Alek Manoah.
Can I guess?
Yeah, you're gonna get it. Go ahead.
All right, you ready? I think it's Jordan Lyles.
Boom. Fade Jordan Lyles for the Kansas City Royals. He is 13 games. He is 0-10. His ERA is 6.84. He's walked 25 batters, 56 earned runs this year, and 18 home runs for a Royals team that has 18 total wins. So I am on the fade Jordan Lyles train, because you better get on it quick before he gets sent to the minors.
He needs to be investigated. He's either getting paid by other teams, or he's making bets on some FanDuel or DraftKings accounts.
0-10.
It's got to be intentional how bad he is this year.
It's pretty bad. Do you guys want me to run through my 3 backing trends here?
Yes.
All right. So fade Jordan Lyles from the Kansas City Royals. This was actually number 1 last episode. Texas Rangers money line. I'm still all over. Again, even though had a little bit of a loss yesterday, which hurt a little bit, but they're second place right now. They're 40-21. Right now, in terms of covering the run line, there's 65.6% chance to cover the run line. I believe yesterday they were the top team. They're 9-3 in the last 12 games. So Rangers money line's a pretty good bet to bet on, but also being the top team to cover the run line also might be a decent bet as well. And then my last thing that I'm backing Has no relation to anything with gambling. I wish it did. I wish we could. But I am looking at Felix Bautista for the Orioles. Probably my favorite pitcher right now to watch. Dude's a beast. I think he's the best closer in the game right now. Some background with him. He has 28 games this year, 15 saves, 60 strikeouts this season alone compared to last season. Through all 65 games that he pitched in, he had 15 saves. All right, so he's actually already amounted to the same amount of saves this year as he did last year in the entire season. And last year he had 88 strikeouts, so he's only 28 away from his strikeout total last year. Biggest thing, too, is I looked at his Ks this year, and his Ks are up 15.6% from last season. So he's a beast. And I wish there was some sort of way that I could gamble on Felix Bautista for the Orioles. Maybe a K prop of some sort, or something. But the dude's a beast. He's fun to watch, and he's also a game changer. I was also kind of looking to it, like the differences in his pitches. If you actually go into, I believe ESPN or MLB.com has a thing where you can really kind of look at the statistics and like the fine-tuned statistics of like what the pitchers have, and you can actually figure out how much velocity has changed from year to year. You can look at how much the curve has changed year to year from pitches. Like there was a lot of stuff I was looking at with stuff, and his velocity's changed a little bit on his four-seam fastball, but his movement has gotten better this year with it. So just some things to watch, but he's a very fun pitcher to watch. So Felix Bautista of the Orioles is my last backing that I'm looking at. So what are you guys at?
Ooh. For me, there's not much that I am backing, as we've talked about. And to be honest, I don't have a specific thing that I currently am. But the thing I'm going to start looking at backing is fading like legacy starting pitchers.
Yeah.
So Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Adam Wainwright, just like even Blake Snell, if you want to consider him a legacy pitcher.
About Kershaw.
People like that. Kershaw. I'm gonna start betting fading them and betting on their not success because right now I feel like I'm giving them like a second chance. They haven't been performing well this year, most of those pitchers, and I feel like I keep thinking like, all right, they're going to turn the corner. They're going to be their true selves, and maybe the book's closing on them in their career. So
totally.
I'm just going to give that a chance, start backing that, see how it goes.
Sure.
There's like even a couple pitchers that aren't necessarily legacy pitchers that just are either surprising me with how well they're pitching or surprising me with how bad they're pitching. One of them this year is how bad they're pitching is Sandy Alcantara.
Mm-hmm.
He does not look like who he was last year.
Totally different.
In terms of how deep he's going into games and how many earned runs he's giving up. He just looks like a whole different person this year. Someone that I think has really it's blowing my mind with how well they've pitched their last four starts is John Gray of the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, dude's been a beast.
He's given up, I think, one earned run at the most in his last four starts, and how unlucky it is that he lost a complete game, one earned run start. That is just unbelievable.
Yeah, that was my pick.
Yeah, I think I was gonna say. But yeah, so that's what I'm backing is fading legacy starting pitchers.
Cool, I like it. Trent, what are you bagging, dude?
Well, I'm sound like a broken record. I'm backing the Diamondbacks, and I think we all need to start looking at them a little bit more deeper in terms of our picks.
Talking about money lines.
Money lines. I'm talking about team totals. Because I think with the reputation of being a down team, I mean, they are top 5 in a lot of offensive categories in terms of runs, batting average, etc. But last week we talked about in their last 10 they were 7-3. In their most recent 10 they're 8-2. They are now actually in first place in the NL West over the Dodgers at this point. So, and like I told you before, other than I believe it's the end of June, that's when they start to maybe face like a real other contending team.
Right.
But they have a very favorable schedule coming up, and you can actually get their money lines for a pretty decent price. I mean, tomorrow's like in the 140s,
Okay.
and they're playing the Tigers, and you got Kelly on the mound, who's got an ERA of just a little over 2. So
It's not a bad thing to look at.
yeah, already placed it.
All right. I like it.
Minus 145.
Sweet. Anything else?
Oh, I'm gonna just stick with that.
All right, cool. Let's, you guys ready to round this out?
Yep.
Round
we
around.
got the ponies, huh?
Round around the track. Here we go.
That's right.
Let's go. We got Belmont Stakes this weekend.
All right.
Let's hope the potential bad news that was brought to my attention before this podcast doesn't occur. No, there is rumor though that they may cancel it, I guess.
Yes, air quality index dangerous.
So let's get these horses some gas masks and let's run this race.
Yeah, just put masks on them. Yeah, right.
That solves all problems.
Yeah. So let's
Can't smell farts or anything. It's crazy.
let's look at some of the horses here. With the Belmont Stakes, I'll kind of run us through what's going on here with odds and everything else to start with it. So, one of the more popular headlines is the fact that Mage is not racing in the Belmont Stakes. So, Mage was your Kentucky Derby winner, no longer racing after the loss in. Well, I think they finished third though in Preakness, but they are not racing in the Belmont Stakes here. However, Preakness winner is going to be racing. So here's what we got here. Post position. This is 1 to 9. We got 9 horses racing. We got Tappet Shoes. We got Tappet Trice. We got Archangelo, National Treasure, El Miracolo, Forte, Hit Show, Angel of Empire, and Red Route 1. Right now, what you're looking at, best odds, is surprisingly enough, Tappet Trice is the one that everybody's on right now in terms of odds. It's a 3-to-1 odds. Interestingly enough, I kind of did some background research just, in terms of making my picks and, what I'm looking at or what I'm going to make my picks once they actually go live. Tappet Trice finished 7th in the Kentucky Derby. I know that was also, it was a horse that was very popular in the Kentucky Derby to win it or at least finish in the top 2, I think. But yeah, Tappet Trice right now is the top horse in terms of odds. Coming in next is we do have National Treasure. National Treasure is obviously the champion of the Preakness. That is your Bob Baffert horse that we're looking at here in terms of the trainers. Excuse me. But so let me just kind of get into it. So in terms of odds, in terms of what I'm looking at here, I'll give you guys my trifecta box. I'll give you my winner, and then I'm also going to give you another horse that I'll put at least a win play show on. 9 horses, you don't want to put a ton of money out there on a ton of different horses, just kind of throw your money around. There might be, I don't know, the one I've been kind of wrestling with is Forte. Forte's, at 5-to-2 odds. And Forte was the favorite before getting sick in the Kentucky Derby. So that's one I'm kind of keeping an eye on. I don't trust it enough. So, but what I'm going here horse wise, my trifecta box. Again, by boxing it, these horses can finish any, ranking first place or third, first, second, or third. I'm going with National Treasure. I'm going with Angel of Empire, which is the PA horse, Brad Cox horse, finished 3rd in the Kentucky Derby. Sorry, and has 7-to-2 odds right now. And then I'm going with Hit Show as my rounding out my trifecta box. That is also another Brad Cox horse, finished 4th in the Derby and has 10-to-1 odds right now. So my trifecta box, I'm going National Treasure, Angel of Empire, and Hit Show. And then the other horse that I'm going to throw a win play show on, just to kind of, put it out there because I think they will do all right, is Red Route 1. Red Route 1 finished 4th in the Preakness. So My winner though for the Belmont Stakes, I'm going to go with Bob Baffert, and I'm going with National Treasure. The guy, I can't. I find it hard to bet against Bob Baffert, even though he gets a bad rap for whatever, doping, cheating, whatever you want to call it, with horses. But the guy's a beast in terms of training horses. So I'm going National Treasure as my winner for the Belmont. So trifecta box: Treasure, National Treasure, Angel of Empire, Hit Show, winner National Treasure, throwing a win place show on Red Route 1. Trey, give me your exact box. Or exact.
All right. My exact box.
You gonna box it or you gonna exact it?
I'm gonna box it.
Okay. Because you exacted the last one.
Yeah. I'm gonna box it.
Okay.
And in fact, I'm gonna do 2 exacta boxes. Mm-hmm. All right, but between 3 horses. So it's gonna be National Treasure.
Okay.
And Arcangelo. And Forte and Arcangelo. I'm going to do exacta box with both of those guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
And what's funny is that Arcangelo horse is one I'm interested in. So.
Yeah. I like the 8-1 odds. I feel like those ones are, people don't know a lot about them. It's like, hey, they could be really, really good, or they could get last place.
Yeah, I went back and forth with that horse in the Hit Show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going on the fact that Hit Show's already run.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
Fresh legs.
Fresh legs is one thing. You also have to understand, too, it's duration. I mean, this is the longest race of the 3 in terms of the Triple Crown races.
Right.
So, are you going to have the endurance to run it? It kind of depends, too. So...
And you did remind me that Forte was scratched for being, or he was scratched for being sick, right?
Was sick, yeah. He got scratched that morning.
Yeah, I forgot about that, and that kind of that makes me a little iffy about him, and that's why I made my second exacta box.
That's why I'm a little worried. That's why, part of me, like I said, I want to put some money on him, but I'm at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I feel like that's one of those horses where some people are gonna be like, well, hey, he was the favorite in this race. He's going to do well, and he hasn't raced yet, and then he's just going to crap the bed or, take a dump right there on the track.
And that's the thing is horses, they don't have I'm not a horse, I don't know, but they don't have a mentality where they can I don't feel well, but I'm going to win this race. You know what I mean?
Right. It's
just based on how physically fit they are.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
And if he's not 100%, then that makes me a little iffy about him. But
yeah, Tabit Trice, man, I can't figure that one out.
You don't want to tap it once. You don't want to tap it twice.
It frustrates me because
that's why I tap it Trice.
Oh, is that it?
I
don't know. It goes back to the first time we talked about horses and stuff on our podcast. Was obviously the Derby, and I talked about Brad Cox versus Todd Pletcher, and Tabit Trice is a Todd Pletcher horse. Forte is a Todd Pletcher horse, and Todd Pletcher hasn't done shit. Let's be honest. So I don't know. I'm out. I'm wiping my hands of it, and I'm going.
So who always wins? Bobby Baffert.
And that's why that's my winner.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so who's your winner then?
Me?
Yeah.
Arcangelo.
Arcangelo is your winner.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. But then why would you say then you can't make the Baffert comment?
I can.
Well, for those of you that are wondering, I will bring this up though. Arcangelo. Trainer is Gianna Antonucci from Blue Rose Farm.
Exactly.
Don't exactly be like.
No, I mean, honestly, for me, I'm not going to pretend I know anything about horse racing. I just know Bob Baffert and his success with horse racing.
Yeah.
But I just like picking names, picking odds, and really just enjoying the 30 seconds of the race.
Oh, yeah. It's honestly, it is one of those things that I've since we've been doing the podcast. It's funny. I've actually been following horse racing stuff now, like at least like the Triple Crown stuff, since 2013. Not like in depth, like learning about every horse and but like following horse racing since then. But now I'm actually really kind of getting into the nitty gritty of it, like who's training it, who owns it, who's.
Hey Tyler, let's head on down to Hollywood Penn National.
We might have to.
Yeah, it's actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
It is pretty fun.
So, all right.
What do you got, Trent?
Hey, this is one thing where I will sit back, take in your analysis and your picks, and just I'll tell you guys. I will tell you. But the only thing I bring to the table is a nice little fun fact.
Oh,
okay.
About the Belmont Stakes.
All right, let's hear it.
Drop that knowledge.
So, all right, 100 years ago on June 4th, 1923, the jockey Frank Hayes. You guys know where I'm going with this?
No,
I do not.
I think I do.
No.
He suffered a lethal heart attack during the race. Despite being dead, he remained in his saddle and actually crossed the finish line to win by a head. And therefore, he is the first and only jockey to have won a race while dead.
He died? He actually died?
He was dead as his horse won the race.
That's pretty horrible story.
Yeah, that's pretty gruesome. Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I want to end the podcast with this story.
I'm sorry, guys. I thought this was, like, fascinating.
So
like,
It's supposed to be a fun fact.
It's like the Headless Horseman.
That was like a sad fact.
It's great. It's something great for somebody out there that, like, is a common horse racing fan. You could say, hey, did you know that there was this jockey that actually won this race while dead?
Yeah, but you also just said he's the first. Like, he's probably going to be the only.
Yeah.
Tyler, you might have jinxed it.
Oh, God.
You might have jinxed it, Ty.
Oh, man. All right, we got to end this.
Yeah.
I got horse win. Oh, man,
Put
that's nuts.
the nail in the coffin. Oh, sorry,
man.
too soon? Just kidding. Okay.
Yeah, oh, man.
Nail in the glue factory. Jeez.
No, that'd be the horse.
Oh,
The
sorry.
horse did not die.
Sorry.
The jockey died.
Sorry.
Hey, fellas, check out season 16, Always Sunny. 2 new episodes came out yesterday.
All right.
I'm telling you right now.
Random, thank you.
Just shout out Always Sunny, best show on television.
They listen.
All right. Well, hey, thank you, boys. We'll catch up next week.
Absolutely. Yeah, good talking with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
All right, Bearded Baker Banter. Check us out. Give us a follow, Bearded Baker Bet on Twitter. Check out our website at www.beardedbakerbrothers.com. Got a commercial.
Heat wave is a coming, boys. Heat waves are coming. Watch out.
That's right.
Got a commercial coming out too, so keep an eye out. All right, have a good one.
Oh, yeah.
See you guys.
All right. See you, fellas.